Hawk fans, at this point we've reached the end of the 2011-2012 academic year. The students are gone from campus. Faculty members are making vacation plans. For the most part, everything's winding down. But things aren't completely shutting down at this point. St. Joseph's baseball with a big series coming up this weekend, taking on Xavier out in Cincinnati. And since he was one of the few student athletes that were actually left on campus, and since it is such a big series on the Hawks schedule, we decided to invite St. Joseph's pitcher Alex Pracher to be our guest on the Take 5 season finale. Welcome.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Excited to be here.
That's an honor to be the guest on the season finale of
Absolutely,
Take 5.
absolutely.
I'm just making you aware that it is an honor.
Yes, I'd take it as that.
Graduate student, did your undergrad at Stanford.
Yes.
What made you come to St. Joseph's? Obviously, you probably had a lot of options as far as where you could have gone for graduate school. What made you say, I'm going to come to SJU after being out on the West Coast?
Well, actually, so I'm from Marlton, New Jersey, so I'm only about a half hour away from here. So I came home from Stanford, and I really, in looking for a place to play, I really wanted to focus on a place that was around where I grew up, and SJU kind of just fell into the mix. My high school coaches have a good relationship with the SJU coaches, and once I got cleared from Stanford, they kind of put me through the channels to talk to the coaches, and the rest was history. So.
Is the Hawk a better mascot than just a tree?
Well, put me in a tough spot there. The Hawk is an actual mascot. I don't know if you know. The Stanford doesn't really have
the cardinal.
It's a cardinal.
It's just a tree, though. Right?
Yeah, the tree is. It's interesting. I will say that the tree is a very interesting character. But when the Hawk comes around here, I would say it's it's good when the Hawk's around here. So that's all I'll say.
Fair enough. We won't have you dig any deeper.
Yeah.
Last month, you and your teammates, you win the Liberty Bell Classic at Citizens Bank Park. You get to take home that trophy. Mm-hmm. They include you in their group photo. They had you participate in Senior Day, obviously being a graduate student. But they've accepted you basically from day one.
Yeah.
What did that mean to you? Just to know that right away they kind of took you in as one of their own.
Yeah, I mean, that to me is one of the biggest things, one of the reasons why I'm here. And when I came in from day one, I really felt as like part of the family that they've built here over the years. So, you know, that really did mean a lot to me. It meant a lot because when we won the Liberty Bell, I would have been fine with just standing there watching everybody. It was very exciting for me, but these guys have played there for years and have come up short, you know, and never really gotten there. So I knew how much it meant to them. And for them to call me over and include me in that, it was a big deal. And then Senior Day last week was very nice. I know my parents enjoyed it a lot. And that's really all that matters to me is they got to be out there. And I didn't get a Senior Day at Stanford. So, you know, I figured that was a good experience for me.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And,
yeah.
Well, they should include you in the photo.
Absolutely.
You helped them get over the hump.
Absolutely. I felt a little uncomfortable at first, but, you know, I did really realize that, you know, this is my last year too, and this has been a great experience, so I want to remember it.
Very good. Being a pitcher, it kind of equates you superstitiously to a kicker in football. You brush your teeth multiple times, stuff like that. You have any crazy superstitions that you do on the day of a start? And do you change anything up if you have a bad one?
I try to be as non-superstitious as possible. The problem I have with superstitions is that I don't like to think like, oh, well, I didn't do something today, so I'm going to have a bad start. You know, I like to think that I'm more in control of my ability on the field than, you know, silly superstitions. That said, I do definitely, just like any other ball player, especially pitchers, as you pointed out, I do tend to fall into some things. I did have a beard longer than this for a couple of weeks, actually, probably a couple months, as it turned out. And that was more, you know, I tried to pretend that wasn't a superstition, but I was going good, and it felt good. So when I struggle, I really don't try and change anything. That really is just, again, I try to be as little superstitious as possible, but if it happens, it happens. That's kind of the way
every now and then you just can't help it, huh?
Yeah, every now and then it becomes, you know, I don't want to test the baseball gods, and I kind of just let it, you know, I try and do whatever they want so that I can do well and so that my team can do well on the weekend.
Do you avoid touching the line?
That I really don't do. I used to do that, but it really doesn't affect me anymore. I probably do it unconsciously now, but now I really don't care if I walk on the line.
It's a sign you're maturing, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Now, both ends of the spectrum for you. You've been a starting pitcher. You've been a closer. Obviously, I think there's a different mentality with both starting games versus finishing games. What do you like better?
That's a really good question. I would have to say that in my experience here, I definitely do enjoy starting better. I do like developing that routine and knowing, I'm pitching every Saturday, and it does make it easier. I will say that closing, I think it takes a very unique mindset. I think starting does too, but I think starting's a little bit easier. Closer, as a closer, you have to be ready at all times. You got to be ready, in big situations. When the hitters have a lot of pressure on them, but at the same time, they know that this is our only opportunity, and I think that becomes very difficult. But I would say, overall, and having experienced the two, I would definitely say that I prefer starting.
Favorite pitcher to watch?
Is
there anybody you pattern yourself after? Anybody that routine-wise you really like?
Well, I regret to say this in front of the Philadelphia fans, but I am a New York Yankee fan. So I will say that Mariano Rivera is absolutely my favorite pitcher of all time. However, I do. And I'll throw you guys a bone here. I watch Roy Halladay's starts almost every week because he is absolutely the best model to aspire to be like him in even the slightest is that's really, he's one of the greatest guys on the mound I would say of our generation, and I really would love to even come close to pitching like him.
Well, and method-wise, there's nobody better. The guy's almost machine-like.
Absolutely.
I would almost like to check him and see if there's not just a bunch of bolts and metal under there. The guy's a cyborg.
Absolutely.
Final question. This is our wild card at this point. First-year guy, so we figured we would test your knowledge about St. Joseph's baseball. We do a little what we like to call rapid fire. 5 questions, 30 seconds. As many as you can answer right.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
What year did St. Joseph's first field a varsity baseball team?
Pass.
Who is the only player in SJU history to have his number retired, the number 10?
Moyer?
That's correct. What is the St. Joseph's record for victories in a season?
It's either 24 or 25. I'm going to go 25.
True or false? Athletic director Don DeJulia was once a member of the baseball team.
True.
Head coach Fritz Hamburg was an All-American and national champion at Ithaca. What position did he play?
He was a catcher.
4 out of 5.
All right.
That's pretty good your first time around. You've survived rapid fire, and you've survived Take 5. Congratulations on finishing out your career at St. Joseph's. And we wish you the best of luck in that series out at Xavier. We're all rooting for you.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's Alex Pracher, graduate student here for St. Joseph's baseball, as the Hawks now trying to move their way toward the Atlantic 10 championship for the first time, trying to qualify for that Atlantic 10 baseball tournament. We wish them the best of luck, and we thank you, Hawk fans, for tuning in all season. Hopefully, we've finished as strong as the baseball team will likely finish. For Alex Pracher, I'm Matt Martucci. This is Take 5 on St. Joseph's All Access. We will see you next season, Hawk fans.